All right. Let's get at her. Yeah, so we're doing some more Evoker. Figured that sort of the best way to go about playing Evoker is to be let's go to damage here. Crit mastery, definitely the way to go. This is, I'll just quickly pull it up here when we log in. This is the sample build that I'm doing for the last while for Mythic, for doing heroic dungeons. Waiting for Mythic Plus to be released to really try this in Mythic Plus. And yeah, we'll go over rotational stuff too. While we're here. Get some sound on there. All right, so the big thing you want to do, tip the scales, fire breath into your Dragon Rage. Eternity Surge, and then just start hammering out those pyres. And then at the end, when there's only 1 or 2 targets left, that's when you would, or 3 targets. I think 3 targets is probably the way to go. And then, like, you want to get the fire breath off so that way you can get, at least with this one, you want to get those burnout procs. You get the quick living flame as much as possible. Ooh. Now, the difference between using Living Flame with the dot, with the Ruby Embers versus Engulfing Blaze. Personal thing. You could go like super high haste, but I really don't think we can get enough haste currently to make a difference. It's like a 0.2 second cast time difference if you go with the if you go with like a heavy haste in your stat build, which to me doesn't seem worth it. Like if it was half a second or maybe like 3/4 of a second, we'd be, you know, having a different story here. But with, you know, 0.2 of a second, it's barely noticeable, the difference in cast time. And so Evoker's strength really comes in like large pulls, because you can get more damage or more enemies off with your hit with your fire breath. From what I've seen and what I've noticed. So last disintegrate. I got a proc, so I'll disintegrate again. Tip the scales, fire breath into, oh, I forgot to dragon breath, dragon rage, back to disintegrate spam, hard cast, a living flame, back to here, and back to disintegrate spam until we get 20 stacks, in which then our next cast will be a, get out of there, and that's going to be this. So just kind of gotta be a little bit ahead of the game when it comes to like what's coming up. Yeah, the boss is dead. So I messed that up a little bit there. Definitely missed out on quite a bit of damage potential. Oh, this way. I always get lost in this one. What is this guy using for gear? Oh, he's full 402 basically. Okay, that's why he's doing so much. So I am not 402. I'm 330, 377. I am not going to sit there spamming every profession to get every piece of gear fully maxed out. I'm not doing that. No point. Because I can almost guarantee that this week there's going to be a gear vendor. With raids coming out, raid testing coming out, there's probably going to be a gear vendor. Or, actually, no, there won't be a gear vendor. There will be scaling, and then in Mythic Plus, there'll be scaling. Right now, there currently isn't any scaling, I don't believe, which is why people can just do giga damage. And of course, like, if everybody else is doing huge damage, then you're probably not going to be able to do huge damage. Because, like, Evoker does have good burst, but it's kind of shrouded by, or within, like, other areas. It's like Evoker's burst is just, like, it's not, I wouldn't, it's, yeah, I'd say it's, like, traditional burst, but other classes are definitely better at it. Where I find Evoker does really good is in extended pulls that are long. Because you get so many pyres, like, and all those pyres just do a lot of damage. And then every time you do an Azure Strike, you get, you know, 3 stacks of the pyre damage increase. And then when you do an Eternity Surge with a big pull, you get a big stack of it. And so I've been playing around with using Zephyr as one of my cooldowns. Zephyr being the party-wide DR for 8 seconds. Seeing how that feels. Yeah, see, like, as soon as I get set up, they're pretty much, as soon as I finish my setup, they're dead. Just this guy's just doing fucking crazy damage. That's the one thing I don't get with enchants with shamans. Why did they make chain lightning its biggest damage? That's an Ellie skill to me. To me, that's an Ellie skill. To me, that just seems weird. This is a disintegrate spam because there's only 2 targets. Or why? Okay. Yeah, I figured I was gonna die there. Okay. Well, he died too. Tank died. Those piercing shards really hurt. Oh man. Frozen from the frontal cone inflicts almost 60k nature damage. And 1 additional nature damage. Every second for 10 seconds. So it does 100k, or 110k? That's impressive. 110k damage is what that one spell does over 10 seconds. That's a lot. Which is basically I mean, almost your health bar. Half, it'll just like 110k is half your health bar in 10 seconds. Which should be healable. Should be healable. Not flaming the healer, not making that sure. I'm not flaming the healer. A lot of people are just testing out different classes, seeing how things feel. For me, I've been wanting to test out Evoker and see how Evoker feels, see how Evoker plays. That's all I care about right now is playing Evoker and playing Death Knight. However, I've been playing Death Knight for like 4 years now, so there's like some changes to it. It still feels the same as Death Knight now, so why not play the other class I want to play? Let's give the monk the buff. So like, I see both of these being useful. This is definitely what I would be wanting to use in raid. Terror of the Skies is kind of up in the air whether or not I would want to use it or not. I do hope they don't get rid of the fact that you can just stand still and hit hover rather than move, so you don't actually just like yeet yourself. Oh, he switched to Ellie. Did he? No. Why are you pulling that? Okay, that's this is no bueno. But it is nice though, like the amount of distance that you get whenever you do this is crazy. And like I'm not too worried about like having big ups and downs in damage for a couple of reasons. One, this is a Mythic Plus, so it doesn't really matter. The second reason, what does that a spell look like? What does the item look like? Second reason I'm not too worried. Oh, cool. Is everybody does so much freaking damage, it's hard to predict where you're going to be in the dungeon. So like in Mythic Plus, you kind of have a good idea as to like, based upon how quickly you're killing mobs, how quickly your tank is pulling mobs, where you're going to be in the dungeon, so that way you can plan your cooldowns a little bit. But with this, like, fuck, no chance. Best you can do is just sort of like, you're just playing it by ear. No coordination. So, not worried about the actual damage overall. Like, if I'm making 24 to 35k overall, and I'm quite content. That's definitely in the higher end of what the current people that are testing Evoker have been getting, from what I've been seeing on Twitch. because there definitely is a lot to this spec. When it comes to playing it, and like, yeah, there's a lot of utility and stuff that I still haven't really tried too much of, but like, see here, I basically use my big damage cooldowns. Probably gonna regret it because I'm not gonna have anything for the boss, but whatever. Boss is gonna fucking fall over anyway because this shaman's just gonna nuke it. We still have one more pull, so I'll have like probably 30 seconds, I guess. No, I'm not gonna use that. I will sit here and build my pyre. Oh, so I'm gonna have a minute left. 30 seconds to a minute. Yeah. And he's probably gonna lust. He's got a huge amount of cooldowns, my guess. But I will have my cooldowns for last boss, which frankly on this dungeon is far more important. I do like how they made this that way, in that like the last boss is pretty hard in comparison to the first, and in comparison to like this boss here. The biggest thing is that I'm beating I have not lost to an evoker since I kind of figured out how this class works, other than like one guy who was like did the no life strat where you know, sit here for days getting your item level to 402. I refuse and don't care. Because it's unlikely, very unlikely, that you will be full 402 unless you're in like limit. Come on. I was hoping there'd be some more ads, I guess, on that part. And there wasn't, and it's nice now that people have figured out this boss. Because this boss is going to be a doozy in Mythic Plus. 25k overall, not bad. Yeah, that boss is going to be a doozy in Mythic Plus. So since I fucked up my rotation, let's talk about what the rotation is. So the ideal sort of feely crafted out single target starting rotation is precast at the scales, so it's primed and ready to go. Before the pull, Living Flame. So like 2 seconds left in the timer. Press Living Flame to hit it, and you get a dot applied immediately. So just a little bit more damage. Doesn't really matter too much if you don't do this, but it means 13k plus a dot. So yeah, Living Flame, yeah, tip the scales, Living Flame, repull. And then Disintegrate spam. So Disintegrate costs 3 essence, so you can get 2, maybe 3 if you get lucky and get a essence burst proc with your Living Flame. So there. So Living Flame, Disintegrate. If you got lucky and you get a third one that doesn't go away, you can disintegrate again. So 2 to 3 disintegrates, followed by Dragon Rage, which if you have the Pyre ability going, you should have like a 9 stack, I think is what it is. 9 stack or a 12 stack, depending on how many procs of disintegrate you got. So that's a nice little buff. So, because that's going to cast with your Dragon Rage. So you cast your Dragon Rage, that automatically throws your Pyre out with your stacks on it, and immediately Fire Breath, and then level 1 Eternity Surge, followed by Disintegrate and Living Flame. And you cast Living Flame when you can't cast Disintegrate, and then you throw in a Deep Breath whenever you can. If you know the boss fight or anything like that, then you'll save the Deep Breath for when ads come out, so that way you're prepared for that. And rinse and repeat. So you want to use your Fire Breath on cooldown, your Eternity Surge on cooldown, so every 30 seconds you'll cast one of those. You'll always cast Fire Breath at its full value to get the most damage out of it and the most value out of it. And then you'll always pair Fire Breath with Tip the Scales. I don't see any situation off the top of my head in which you would do Eternity Surge as the major one. Doesn't work that way. Now, when it comes to rotation, when you have Firestorm, you'll want to hard cast a Firestorm as well. Make sure you're casting Firestorm. So that way, in addition to your Living Flames that you have out there, you're going to maintain the Fire Breath buff. The other potential option is if you're going full single target and not going Firestorm, is you could actually, let's try this, Feed the Flames. So this is a possibility. Then once again, Fieldcraft, none of this has been tested on a machine. This has just all been done by hand and feels. So the idea that just is with Feed the Flames is that you're trying to get as many fire breaths out as possible. So if you're running Firestorm, you'll want to use Ever-Burning Flame, because Firestorm applies every time it ticks. It increases the duration of your fire breath dot, which then increases the chance of you proccing a burnout, which then gives you a free cast of Living Flame, which is always nice to have. My thought behind Feed the Flames, if you're not taking Firestorm, is that you will be spamming out other abilities instead, and you're going to be getting a lot. Our hope is that you get a lot of Essence Burst procs, so that way you can Fire Breath more often. So with a more single target focused spec, you're going to be having your Eternity Surges go off. You're going to be running Eye of Eternity, so that way when you crit with Eternity Surge, you get an Essence Burst, and you're able just to spam Essence Burst. And then with Cascading Power, you have a chance of it not consuming itself, which means you can cast more Essence Bursts, and then you can get more Fire Breaths out, compared to if you're not running. And then you have more uptime on Fire Breath dot compared to if you don't with Firestorm. That's my thought, because you don't really cast too many red spells. Why did it change? What? all of my abilities changed. What is this guy trading me for? Oh. That's cool. All right, so that was weird why that happened. I don't use this bill at all. Like, why did it do that? This is the build I was running. Yeah. So this way, we're gonna see how the fire, breath of fire dot is in damage. So right now it's right underneath pyre for the most part, varying depending on how many pyre procs I get. But it's typically second damage in the dungeon. But if you can get, I guess if you can get 8 within you have to get 8. That's a lot. There I use it just because I didn't use my fire breath on the with tip of scales on the beginning. And it doesn't do like a huge amount of damage. And then my fire breath's up already. Okay. So that's actually not too bad. But the big question I guess would be like, how is it in single target? Well, it's almost back up off cooldown again. So that's really good. Holy shit. Damn. I was proccing like a madman though. So I mean like that's a little bit of an unfair sort of way to view it. But yeah, there it is again. God, everyone in the stream is doing fucking giga damage. All right, so that's actually really good. If you're not running Firestorm, like really good, especially if you're running this. I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised. Don't mind the damage of the Rep Paladin. He's just being a Rep Paladin. Literally a broken spec in this beta. Like unbelievably broken. Getting nerfed to the ground next week. So on that fight, it did 1.3%. Nope, that is my own little damage thing that I've got going on. Okay, let's see if I can get a bunch of them. Oh, all of them. Good. And it's up again. Nice. Yeah, so it's... I'm getting almost... Like, if you get lucky with your procs, you can almost get this off a cooldown pretty much like right as soon as it runs out. If you're doing a more of a single target focus. Now, the other option is more definitely for AoE. And like more for like the Firestorm build for sure. But it's still fun. So I'm saving my fire breath right now for the next boss. Almost didn't get that. What they should do is like make it so that way you don't lose that instant cast. Unless it casts a second time. And stunned. Not bad for no cooldowns on that fight. I mean, shit's dying us like so fast I can't even tell what's going on. Oh. Well, this guy's what ability is that he's using? Oh, his Convoke Incarn? His Incarn is working. My druid for some reason Incarn doesn't work, so I can't do shit. That's like literally all of his damage. His Incarn, the greater Incarn ability, is 34% of his damage. That's a lot. Yeah, I can't even keep up with this. Okay, so Titanic Devotion gives you a big intellect buff. I know we're just gonna probably go straight to the boss after this, so I'm just gonna save my cooldowns for it. Save my Dragon Rage for it. Like my fire breath damage is definitely a lot higher this time around, but I don't even think it's fair to use it in this one. I'm just I can't even get anything. Like by the time I use like 3 or 4 pyres, the packs are fucking dead. Okay. So here we go. Tip the scales. Living flame. Disintegrate. Disintegrate. Oh, I forgot to lust. We'll throw out lust. Eternity Surge. Disintegrate spam. Why is it not stacking up? Oh my god, I don't have the ability. That's why my fire damage is so low. Okay. But I did 60k on that boss. Within that lust. And like that Titanic devotion. Holy shit. Okay, so what? This is the one. That. I don't take that either. Okay. Why did it change like that? That's so weird. What's my buff up time for that? %17 uptime. That's really good. Jesus.
At last, Emberstoke! The forges will ring today!
Alright, so start tip the scales precast, and then start living flame. You would lust disintegrate. Disintegrate. Oh, I got a proc. Disintegrate. Get out of that way. Dragon Rage. Fire Breath. Eternity Surge. Disintegrate. Living Flame. I got a proc. Disintegrate. Let that go through. Disintegrate. Let that go through again. Disintegrate. Disintegrate. Just keep on getting these procs. Then big pyre. Let's throw Dragon Breath in there now that we've got it. And boss is doing its thing. Yeah, and it's dead. Yeah. Easy peasy. It's not letting me do it. Okay. Okay. I tried. Not bad. Let's try that again. I did like how quickly I was able to get Living Flame, or not Living Flame, Fire Breath back up. Yeah, so I can't craft 402 because mine's bugged. I can't unlock this last tree. If you can unlock the last tree, then if you have everything maxed out, you can unlock the last tree, which I think can get you. I may be wrong. Leatherworking might not be able to do it, but then you can craft like the. So you'd be able to go here and go to Infusion's Power and get like get like a Primal Infusion or a. I don't know if you can get concentrated Primal Infusions. But yeah, so I don't know how to get Primal Infusions. But if you can get Primal Infusions, then you can make yourself potentially 402 loot. Potentially. Because it does increase the difficulty. But you just might have to make hundreds of thousands of them. What? Oh, alchemy recipes. And I'm not too worried about it, because why do I have to worry about it in beta? I just want to sit here, play the dungeons, learn the spec, learn the class. All right. Ooh, a paladin. I haven't seen a paladin in a while. Oop.
I welcome Onora's rage. When the winds are still, I will suspect the worst.
I can spare no hunters for the Kanamatra now. The proto-dragon Granith was nearly in our grasp when Balakar's warriors ambushed us. We must retake our weapons of war and drive the Nokud back. When Granith's blood soaks the ground, our purposes can align.
I think they made a big miss on this one because they could have had, hear me out, 6 potential bosses on this dungeon. I think 6 would have been really cool. So you have 6 bosses on this dungeon, and you get 3 plus the last boss. And so you'd have 5 potential bosses, right? Oh, I'm dead. Okay. But yeah, it's pretty good burst there, right? Why is he shrouding? Come on, essence generation. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Whee. I was wondering why I wasn't getting a proc. Yeah, fuck. I wish they would fix that. That's annoying. It's like... you just like... You can't change target. And if you're like a big pack and you pick the wrong target by accident, you're just fucked. You just lose out on like... Not only if you have a 3-second cast, but then you do a 3-second cast and you do no damage. And that died like as I was casting. One of the changes that would be very beneficial to the Evoker would just be to change that. And I don't know if I put that into feedback. I'm going to make a feedback post for that. He's gonna go do it. Nope, no one's going to go do it. And the way I see it is it's a healer thing, not a DPS thing to do that. Or tank. The tank can easily just walk the boss over to them. Like, you're watching this in your tank, just take the damn boss over to the crossbow. That's all you have to do. That's it. Take the boss over to the crossbow, and you click it, or the healer clicks it. Let the DPS just sit there, because this boss is just a fucking target dummy. That's it. It's just a target dummy. Range can literally stay out of range, combat of it. Range should not really take any damage in that fight other than from the cast that it does, where it just like throws shit out at you. Why did I not get a boost? And before people say, oh, you're gonna need max dragon flying for this, no you don't. You don't need max dragon flying for this dungeon. You can do it with 3. Like nothing. You can do it with level 0. Really makes no difference having like full or 1. Or level 1 dragon riding. It does not make a lick of difference. The only difference it makes is that you get more vigor, so you can fly slightly faster. Will it make a difference in Mythic Plus? If it's coming down to that close, you're either doing like world first or like world, you know, whatever, highest dungeon content, or your group is bad. Like it's not going to come down to whether or not you have max dragon riding on the no. Now, what will be useful on this key will actually be to have an evoker, because of these things. If you pull them, if the strat is to pull these storm shields, then you want an evoker. Or you might be able to be like, okay, I've got an evoker, let's pull the storm shields, because evoker, if you talent into the fuck you get your shield away ability, you could do a lot of damage to them. This one, Unravel, has 43k. Instant cast, 8-second cooldown, 9-second cooldown. To shields. So good. And like, yeah, Living Flame is back up. Fire Breath is back up again. A whole 12 seconds ahead of Eternity Surge, so. Well. Got a white dragon here. Ugh. God, I think I'm just gonna... I think after this dungeon, I'm just gonna turn off my stream. Too tired.
One more totem, quickly.
My wife's been out of town or not out of, oh yeah, I guess you could say out of town. She's on, she's having a girls' weekend just outside of town. And so I'm taking care of the kid, and I am fucking exhausted. Kid's 3 years old, by the way. Great, like she's a great kid. Nothing wrong about her. Just a lot of work. Are you gonna run up the hill? Oh, jeez. Okay. Let's just auto cast that. Oh my god, what is doing that? It's obviously these guys, but like, what's the spell that's being cast? Like, I've never been interrupted by these guys. At least that I can realize. Look at that. That's like half his shield is gone. Yeah, and in this dungeon, you want to grab these orbs.
The final totem crumbles.
Orbs make you do more damage. 5% more damage and healing. So it's really easy to do giga damage on this key. And like, you especially need it on this boss. Like, big time need to do this on this boss. This boss has a fuck ton of health. Well, while we're waiting for Mr. Rogue to show up. I'm out of Primal Chaos. Okay, well. Use the shittier version of it then. Like, the difference between a rank 3 and a rank 1 is huge. Let's just go fucking pull. All gas, no brakes on this one. Oh, fuck. So 10 stacks is the max you can get. As an evoker, you can easily get 10 stacks. Want to get those 10 stacks as soon as you can, and just start pumping damage. Does drop, so you just want to pick it up every couple of seconds or so, just so you can maintain your buff. After this boss, because it's such a single target boss, we will check logs. Well, not logs, but to see what my fire breath damage was. Yeah, it's dead. So I did 30k single target on that fight. Let's see. So disintegrate damage was really big. That's what I kind of figured it would be. Eternity Surge, and then Fire Breath is up there with Living Flame. What's the uptime? 55% of the fight I had Living Flame up. Now, was I casting it as quickly as I could have? Probably not. But still, that's pretty good. And it is only with one Dragon Rage. With 2 Dragon Rages, I imagine would probably been like 32k overall. Especially with how lucky I was getting with certain things. We'll just go with 2 with this one. So with these little mini bosses or these ads, you want to interrupt Siphon Life. Well, not interrupt it, but if you can do anything to cancel them for cast or just get out of dodge, that's the other way you can deal with it. Just leave the circle. My vote is to get rid of that rogue because he is not here. Fucking go. So Blizzard came out with a blue post today stating that haste does reduce the cast time of your empowered spells, but it's just not reflective on the tooltip. Internally, it still works. I don't know what's going to be better. And it also depends on how quickly it changes. Like, the difference between, like, with Evokers, like, the way haste scaling is, unless it's wrong, is, it only changes your spellcast time, like, 0.1 seconds per 1,000 stats in haste. Like, that's both for evocation, or like the not evocation, preservation and destruction. Just to me, that seems just absolutely useless of a stat. I am annihilating this dungeon because I don't have anybody else to compete with on DPS. Funny how that is. Come on, use it. No path available. Come on. Are you fucking serious? Okay. Yeah. Check him. I just fucking left. Wait for me, guys. Leaves.
On our sacred ground?
I'm gonna lose those stacks.
This is what has become of our legacy?
This is what has become of our legacy.
You shall pay for this blasphemy with your lives. Defilers. Away from him! Rend the earth!
Yeah, bring the bosses together. Come on, buddy. Bring the bosses together. What are you doing?
Away from him!
Oh my god.
Rend the earth! Guides my arrows!
Yes, keep them. What are you doing? Oh, he's getting bumped. Keep them stacked. Here's a rule of thumb. In dungeons, there's not going to be any split boss mechanics.
Guides my arrows!
Fucking done.
Away from him! Rend the earth! Guides my arrows!
Like, this boss is so easy if you stack them.
Away from him!
Like, I would be doing double my damage right now. Maybe not quite double, but like close to it. If you stack them.
At last.
Please, if you plan on playing a tank, stack those freaking bosses. Like, it's really easy. They jump, you cast a fear. After the fear, you bring them together. Interrupt, damage. He jumps, he fears, rinse and repeat. How did those guys get pulled? Oh, they didn't. Oh, they did somehow. We're waiting on the tank. He's gonna. Yep. I wonder if it's like a dome. Like if the area in which it affects it is a dome. Because if it is a dome, that means you could go over it. And like do some like mage sorcery. Oh good, the mage can do damage. Thank God. What? Like, I don't want to sit here being elitist and be like, oh my God, how do you not know the mechanics of this dungeon? When it comes to playing it. I definitely don't want to do that. Because this is beta and like most of the people probably haven't played it. However, there are certain things in this game that are very predictable. Such as, get out of circle. Don't touch things that are on the ground. And you can experiment. By all means, what I do when I experiment in this game is let's pop a defensive and touch it. See what happens. If it hurts me, it hurts me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. See what happens. And one of these things is related to that second boss. In dungeons, they're never going to make you hold the boss apart from each other. Because it's impossible. The reason it's impossible is you don't have two tanks. Yo, you can stop throwing your arrows at me. Alright, so it's 4 ticks per charge of disintegrate is what you get on your pyre. That's nice. 4 charges? 20% damage increase? Alright. So not bad. Why did I double pyre there? Oh, fuck, that was only one. Yeah, 24k on the boss. Way more fire breath uptime overall. What was my uptime on fire breath overall on that boss? It's living flame dot uptime. Fire breath was, yeah, it's about, you know, anywhere between 45 to 50%, 55 to 60%. If I get really lucky with essence bursts, then it's on that 60 side. If it's not, then I'm on that 50 side or less. So not bad. Not bad at all. Anyways, I'm done for the night. I'm just going to watch some streams on Twitch and veg for the next little bit before I go to sleep. If you watch this VOD, thanks. If you like the stream and like the video, please shoot a like or hit the subscribe button and you can watch more content from me. I'm hopefully going to do more things in the future, but we'll see. I am lazy and I'm not making this I don't want to make this my job. This is just a hobby. Anyways, peace out. Thanks for joining me.